Hi, this is Smokin' Johnny from Harborside Marina and Yacht Sales. I'm here to do a showcase walkthrough of our 2026 Wellcraft 38. We are the exclusive dealers for Connecticut, and we service Newport, Rhode Island to New York City and beyond, actually. We're going to start with this boat here. It is a 38 Wellcraft T-top. It is 38 feet 4 inches long with a 10-foot 9 beam and weighs approximately 15,000 pounds. She's powered by 300 Mercury Verados, color matched. Also available power is 350s if you prefer a little bit extra speed, but in our experience, this is the right power for the boat. She'll top out at a 55 mile an hour range of about 300 change miles, and cruising speed of about 38 miles per hour at about 1.5 miles per gallon. Okay, so you'll notice when we get on here, it's got wings that extend past the motors here on both sides, which allow easy access on and off the boat. We come in through a transom door, which is closable. And we come into the cockpit of this boat, and you're going to see something that you've probably not seen on most center consoles out there. Yes, you can fish this boat. It's got rocket launchers on the top. You can get a fish package on it. But this boat is absolutely designed for unbelievable day boating in Long Island Sound. I mean, it's got great seating, tables. We have not installed the matting on the floor yet. We're going to wait till our final customer gets the boat before we do that. Gray sea decking throughout the entire boat. It also has a full canvas, which we have not installed on it yet. But it will cover the entire console area, so you can air condition and heat that area when you need to. So we have a fold-out seat that pops out here. And the nice thing about this seat, compared to a lot of other fold-out seats, is it's extremely comfortable. In fact, all the seating back here behind the windshield in the protected area of this boat is extremely comfortable. It's got storage. And the nice thing about this is it's all magnetic. So everything locks down with magnetics. We have storage here. Okay. And the one cool feature we have here is a terrace. And this is kind of a new thing with boats, but a lot of boats are going to this progression. And basically what this terrace does, we can unlock it. And then we can move it down. We don't want to go too far because we have a dock right here. So I don't want to go too far because we have the dock down, but if you're at anchor or if you're docked the other side of this boat, you can have a full platform, which also has a ladder to get on and off of it, which is nice if your kids are swimming or jumping off the side of the boat and want to get on away from the motors. We also have a ladder in the back that you can access from the water, which is important because it's very difficult to get back into a boat without a ladder and having access for it. The nice thing about this door is when we were running the boat, not a single drop of water got through the boat at all, which is actually not very common. Most of these side door boats have some leaking and some water that's able to get in and out of them. This one does not. As we move forward over here, you're going to see we have big storage underneath the helm, a drawer storage. We've got some of our covers in. Over here, we have a little storage area that you could put a grill here. In our experience, most of our customers don't use a grill, so we opt not to put it on, but it could be added on any of the builds. We also have our battery switch area here. All our batteries are electronic, and we control everything with a Victron inverter and lithium ion batteries. So we do not have a generator on this boat, but we can run everything off-grid with the Victron inverter. Down here, we have a couple nice drawers, which storage on a boat is always a problem, and this problem is solved. We even have a little trash compartment here for you to put your stuff in. And then over here on the other side, we have a wet sink over here. And then we have a refrigerator that pops out over here. There is the ability to get a second refrigerator drawer if you'd like over here that slides right underneath this seat over here on the starboard side. Okay, now we're at the helm and we have, you can see triple seats here. The seats do move forward and back. They have flip down bolsters so you can sit comfortably with flip down armrests as well. Sitting here, you have a center driver station and 2 companion seats on either side. And the nice thing about this is different than most other boats, is if you look at the windshield here, it actually curls out. And what that does is it protects the 2 companion outside seats against wind. And it keeps it way more controlled inside the cockpit area. If you do want air, this is one of the coolest features I've seen. Most companies will ventilate the helm through a window, which has got a gasket and it always leaks, and it's up high. We actually, on this boat, can vent with an air vent here that allows us to get air as much as we want for the whole entire boat, as well as a driver. Air conditioning and heat. Sitting here, it's a 12-volt air conditioner that we run off of our Victron inverter. We have our Mercury smart gauge. You can see we have 2 Garmin 16-inch screens, and they control pretty much everything. We can control our music, we control our depth finder. This boat doesn't have a radar, but we will put a radar on it, and it's available from the factory as well. But both of my screens right here give me all the information that I need. I have my binnacle control for Mercury, which is fully electronic. We have the Mercury joystick, which includes Skyhook, a virtual anchor, as well as autopilot built right into it. We also put a bow thruster in on this boat, so you have full control when you're at the dock. It's super easy to drive, super easy to maneuver in close quarters. If you look at the bars for this T-top, they are so robust that this top does not move at all. And if you can see, it's a center console kind of, but it's also hybrid because we have gunnel mounted outside bars, which number 1, give you so much more strength, but number 2, give you something to hold on to when you're walking around this boat and getting around when you're running the boat. I like a gunnel mounted top. A lot of fishermen say, well, you can't fish around the boat, but there's plenty of room to fish in the back if you want. And this boat will do as much fishing as you want or as little fishing as you want and entertaining. It's a great dinner boat. It's a great day boat. It's a great sport boat. In fact, if you look on the top of the hardtop here, you'll see it's got a pull point here. So if you want to do tubing or wakeboarding or anything like that, you can pull from right there, which is nice because it pulls from an up angle and gives whoever the skier is an easier chance of getting up on the wake. Okay, as we move forward, you're going to see really wide walkthroughs here to get to the bow area. And in the bow area, we have really comfortable seating, a sun lounge for 2 with a flip down armrest. And this is kind of a cool feature because we do have a cabin inside this boat. And there's access from the cabin with a day hatch in case you want to get some air or even get out of the boat. Around the sides, you can see it does have rod holders or boat hook holders on both sides, as well as a step on both sides to get off and on the boat at dock if you need to. Up on the top corners here, we have just little glove box storage for the people that are sitting up here on both sides. And this is probably one of the coolest features that you would see on most super yachts. It's a lantern that just lights up and gives you ambient light at night. It's probably one of the coolest features, I think, on these little boats that compare them to super yachts. Over here, you'll see we have storage on both sides. And then up front here, we have a full automatic windlass with controller up here. It is chain and rope. And you can control this from the helm or you can control it from up here. One thing I want to point out to this boat that I have not seen on a lot of other boats, which I think is a super high-end finishing feature, are these stainless steel round fittings here that look like they're clips for canvas. Well, they're not. They're actually drains for cup holders and drains for boxes, like right here. If this does get water in it, it drains right out onto the cockpit. But instead of using white plastic, they're using stainless steel fittings that you don't see unless you're getting into a real high-end build. Moving around here, you're going to see we have a table that automatically will come up. And if you put it at regular height, it's a table. If you put it down a little bit lower, you can fill this in for a full sun lounge up in the front. And again, all of this will be wrapped with marine mat, or there's a teak option as well, which looks really, really, really nice on this boat. Obviously, before you eat dinner, you're going to want to wipe off the table because it's actually the floor. One thing I also noticed about this boat, which I really like, is the badging. This is a Wellcraft. I mean, Wellcraft's been around for 70 years. They've been an icon in the boating business forever. And since Beneteau Group bought them, they're putting a new flair to them. They're building the boats at the highest level quality and rejuvenating what Wellcraft really stands for. But this is stuff you only see on high-end luxury goods. It's got little badge tags showing Wellcraft brand. It's got Wellcraft logos. In fact, I think I counted there were 26 Wellcraft badging on this boat, which is, I think it's a cool thing. I like it. I like the brand. And I like that we are proud to promote that brand, an iconic brand. The other thing that we could talk about is the audio system. So this has got the JL audio speaker system with the Fusion head unit. It's all owned by Garmin anyway right now. And it's the upgraded system, which gives you unbelievable sound even while fully underway. As we walk back on the other side, you're going to see big, oversized, robust stainless steel rails. I mean, these are not thin rails. It's fully solid. And that's the thing I'm going to say about this boat when I first got on it and decided to become a dealer. I literally looked at all the fit and finish, the quality, the construction, how everything is so robust and overbuilt almost, that it really makes me think that this boat is going to be fully intact years and years after you still own it. I think that's a really important part of the build on this boat. So we have two floor boxes here that can be stored either as macerated fish boxes if you are fishing the boat, or just fender storage and so forth. And they're draining out with a macerator, but it gives you a little bit of nice ability to have some extra storage on the boat. That's on both sides of the boat. And then we also have right here, I'm going to open this up. There's a release button over here. And now if you look in here, this is how you tell the quality of a boat. Access to systems is so important in a boat because eventually something's going to break and you're going to have to get in there and fix it. And this is important. A lot of consumers don't really look at this, but as a guy that has to take care of these boats, I do look at it. So I can see my air conditioner very easy to access. I have storage right here, all my batteries, all my fuse panels, everything here, fully labeled behind a water shield, as well as access to my tanks, to my senders, to every single thing that I need to get at is right here. And this compartment also, if you can see, has a locking mechanism that locks it into place onto these things right here. So this thing doesn't move when we're underway. All right, let's move back here to the cockpit and I'm gonna show you some more storage we have. Again, little things like this. If you can zoom in on this, let me come back over here. We have access to the bilge here if we need to. If we need to get back here, it's a waterproof seal, but it allows us to get to places on this boat that you normally would not have to be able to get at if it didn't have that. Since we have outboard engines, this is a nice thing. You can see we have some Coast Guard equipment stored down here. This is our Victron inverter. It's the best in the industry. Nobody does it better than the people in Europe as far as Victron goes. But again, I jump down here. I have a shore power box. I have all my stuff in here, completely sealed away from the weather. But again, access. There's my pump for my air conditioner. Easy accessed. My batteries. Hidden, not just sitting there. They're hidden under the floor so you can still use them for storage. Additional storage. Even on the backward side over here, if you can come around here and see, there's a compartment right here that allows me to access my filters. Super easy, but hidden, out of sight, so you still are not giving up all your storage for your mechanicals. And the same on the other side, over here. Another nice thing, table storage. This is where my cockpit table stores, out of the way when you're not using it. This boat has the access for 2 tables, so if you got the second table, it would store on this side. But for a 38-foot boat, to have this much storage on a boat is really unbelievable. Everything's locking, so the hatches do not move when you're underway. In addition to that, they're keyed. And that's something I have not seen on a lot of boats right here. Okay, so I'm going to close this door here. This is something that you only see on European boats, and you will see it on every European boat. And there are a lot of them. I just came to the Fort Lauderdale boat show, and the influence from the European design is so evident. I felt like 80% of the boats are built in Europe were at that show. But again, this is a manual bilge pump in case your bilge pump fails. It's a CE certification requirement, which is a European build spec that allows you to manually pump your bilge out in a case of emergency. Obviously, you have fully automatic bilge pumps and everything else, but that's a nice thing about CE certification. All right, so I'm gonna bring these motors down and show you how easy it is to do. First thing I gotta do is turn my ignitions on. I'm gonna bring my motors down here. Now this is really cool. There's a couple different ways to start these motors. You can either do it from the key switch, or you can do it from the front of the binnacle control, or you could just push this button right here and it will fire them all up in sequence. And I'll tell you what I love about the Mercury motors is they are quiet, they are bulletproof, and they are smooth. When this boat runs, it has 0 bow rise. It never has a transition where its bow is raised up. It just goes and starts going on plane. I think that has a lot to do with the hull design. It's obviously Michael Peters' hull design. He's a world-renowned designer that's done some of the nicest boats that we've seen in our history. But I want to show you back over here too about access. Now this is an option, but we will put it on every single boat. It allows us to flip up this piece right here and get to all of our rigging tubes if we need to. And again, this is important because if you do have a problem with your boat, access to a boat is so important that the consumer doesn't see it when they're at a boat show. But from a dealer standpoint, I look at it because I'm gonna have to fix these boats, like I said, and I wanna know that I'm gonna have an easy time doing it, quick time accessing all the stuff, and I'm not gonna spend hours and hours just trying to get to something that I have to fix. So I like this little flip up compartment. Also, if you notice the Mercuries, all have oil fill and a dipstick right on top of the motor for easy checking of your motor without having to take the cowlings off. Back over here on the side, you're gonna see we have our shore power for our main and also for our air conditioner. If we're plugged in, the air conditioner will work on shore power. If we're on the water, the air conditioner will work on your inverter. We're also gonna have on this side, right here, we're gonna have a hot and cold transom shower. So it does have a hot water heater on it. Again, it's controlled by your inverter, which gives you the energy to do that. And you can see the speakers all throughout the entire boat, which is kind of cool. Now, when I first got on this boat, I had to talk to the engineers in France to ask them what these were, because I've never seen them before. And after investigating them and looking at a lot of European boats that are built with a CE certification, which is a really high certification, what they do is they allow the boat to breathe, which I've never even heard of, but supposedly having the boat being able to breathe is like having your house being able to breathe, and it will keep mildew down, it will keep everything in check. You notice these little clips down here. These are stainless steel clips, and they're for your canvas. So your canvas isn't snapped on, it's actually clipped in. So when you're running this boat at full speed, the canvas does not move. It's awesome. Another ambient light. We have 4 in this boat total. And this right here is on both sides, the little push button thing. And if anyone can tell me what it does, I will send you a check for $100, because I have not been able to find out what it does. I thought it was a fender clip, but there's only one, and it's on both sides here. And I've talked to pretty much every engineer, salesperson, and person of any influence, and no one can tell me what it does. My guess, it was a fender clip. I've never seen a fender clip that looks like that. We'll see. Notice we also have 2 big subs on both sides. That's part of the upgraded package. Cup holders galore. And the nice thing about these cup holders, they're not gonna fill up with water. They're gonna hold your cup any size. But if you do have a cup holder that fills up with water, like this one right here, you see the drain in the very bottom of it. All right, so you can see a lighting package. We have ambient lighting around. We have lighting in the T-top, all LED strips. And we even have indirect lighting underneath these seats back over here. All right, so let's take a look at what the inside of this boat looks like. Now this door, and I've dealt with a lot of doors that go into center consoles, and I can't even tell you how many hours I have of trying to fix them because they don't seal right, or they allow water in, or they don't close right, or they open when you're running. If you look at this, this is, to me, equivalent to the back of a super yacht that has got a waterproof door. It's got double stainless steel handles, robust hinges to open it up. Great, so now we're inside this boat, 38-foot boat that's got, I would say, equivalent to a full size, maybe even bigger mattress. I have plenty of headroom. I have light coming in here, as well as light from up front and from the side over here. And then I have that day hatch, which I told you before, that will allow more light in. But we can close this off if we want and give us some shade. So we have a full mattress here. Again, this is the cool thing about this boat. But underneath the bed, we have storage. Storage for clothes, storage for your belongings, and that goes all the way up front, which is really nice to have on a boat. This right here is that filler cushion, which I told you will fill in the front. It's obviously not been opened yet, but we also have inside here, let me put some lights on here for us, our air conditioner control. This is our Victron energy control, which tells us everything that our inverter is doing. We have hot and cold sink, light switching, access to the back of our Helm. And if we really need access, and again, this is something that is really unseen in the business. They put in here what everything does, what fuses are, what wire harnesses does, all in an effort to solve problems down the road if we have problems. And I'm going to tell you what, if you have a boat, you're going to have a problem. So it's important to have that kind of stuff. If we really need to get at the dash, we take out these 9 screws and we have full access to the back of the dash. Here we have a wet head. It's full marine head. That also doubles as a shower. And this locks it up. Now you have a full stand-up shower inside your boat. Carbon monoxide sensor, important on every boat. And there's our controls for our shower and our head over here. We also have tank indicators and so forth. Storage underneath here. And then I really want you to come in here and see this. You're gonna have to climb in here though, because this is something really cool. We have storage here, which is nice. We have switches, outlets, cigarette adapters. This is my favorite thing on this boat. You can actually shut off the through holes in an emergency situation. And those are all bronze through holes that allow us to turn things off in case there's an emergency. So if there's a leak or something happening, we can shut off the through holes on this boat, even on the discharge side, which is really cool. This side over here has got a lock compartment, which is going to allow us to get into wire harnesses and so forth. Another outlet over here. We got a reading light over here. Access here to our bow thruster. Our table that's electronic. Again, if we have to get at this stuff, it's important to easily be able to get at it, and that's what we have here. So here's the door. Look at the hardware that's on here. Even this, the ability to adjust the door if it needs to be tweaked a little bit is unbelievable. Like, this is unheard of in center consoles. Close it in, lock it off, and there you go. Again, now you can see what this windshield looks like, where it kind of curves and pulls out, which is really, really, really nice. And allows us to get a full windshield wiper. Not that you'll ever need it unless it's raining out, but it gives us a full windshield wiper out of the way. This is our vent that comes in, which is really nice as well. We also have covers for all of our seats, our helm, and everything that easily will cover it up when you're not using it if you don't want to put the full canvas up on it. Okay, so look at this boat on the side. It's definitely inspired by a Norwegian built boat. It's got a plumb bow on the front. It's got a hard chine along the bottom. This boat can be painted. So if you prefer to have it in a different color, we can absolutely do this. The first one we brought it in white. So if a customer wants to paint it, they can choose any color they want, or they can keep it white. Robust rub rails, and look how high this boat is. This is super safe for young kids. You put the kids in the boat, close that back door, and it's going to be really hard for them to fall off or get off this boat. Access to the hardtop if we got to get up there. put our radar on. That's how we have to get up and do that stuff. As we come up forward here, it is equally as deep in the front as it is in the back. And if you see our plumb bow, which is a vertical bow on this, which is a Norwegian design, it's one of the reasons why we don't have any bow rise. This boat just gets up and goes, and it's awesome. There's our windlass in the front, stainless steel anchor, chain and line. And robust D-ring in the front as well. Okay, so here's our 38 Wellcraft T-top, Michael Peters Design, unbelievable fit and finish, unbelievable ride quality, and just a robust, awesome day boat for Long Island Sound or anywhere you decide to navigate. This boat's in stock. If you'd like to come and take a look at it closer, or you'd like to schedule a demo ride, we'd be happy to do that with you. And keep your eyes open for our 38 Explorer, which is coming in today, and we're going to do a similar walkthrough with it.